thing behind me, that's the hood of the truck from Lazer Team, which was involved in that stunt.
Bernie versus truck, Bernie won, truck 0.
I'd say the worst that anybody, was hurt or damaged during the movie, though, was the day that Gavin got food poisoning, and he was in such bad shape in his spandex suit. He had a bunch of toilet paper shoved down the back, and he had this weird lump in his butt from where the toilet paper was.
I took a picture of it too. We should put it on the DVD. He's just standing there with his spandex suit and just tons of crumpled toilet paper right in his rectum, so he didn't quote leak.
It was actually look, I couldn't help it, all right? It was actually on a day where I had the really long lines. I had an absolute paragraph, and I was doing all the line. I'd be cut, and I would just fall to the ground in the fetal position, just oh god.
It also found a weird thing. How did you actually? Some of you were backers for the film. Did anybody here come all the way out to Austin, Texas for one of the shoots? Is anybody here that did that? No? Okay. Well,
they're still in Austin.
Yeah, some of the people, the backers came all the way out to do it, and they know how cold it was. Every night we shot was super, super cold, except for that night when it was outrageously hot that one night, which was infinitely worse than being cold, because those suits in the heat were just sandpaper.
Yeah, I had to change out my toilet paper a few times.
Oh God! All right, another one. Yeah, how about right here?
With the trophy?
Hands straight up. There you go. That's great.
Hi.
Hi.
I was just wondering, on top of the Indiegogo campaign, how much extra budget you had. Because you said you were still going to make the movie even if you didn't complete the campaign.
Well, the advantage we had was that I didn't pay any of them.
Yeah, that's true.
No, but seriously, the advantage we had was that, with Rooster Teeth, we know a lot of ways to do things cheaply but effectively, and I don't think a movie like this can really be made for, nowadays with, in a big Hollywood way where you have big stunts and not figure out a way to do some other things that are really kind of smart. So we had other scenes that were that we knew were small scenes, and we just figured out a way to do them just kind of at the studio. There was there's one scene that's actually pretty early in the movie that's just you, Bernie, and Michael rolling around a cop car, and we literally shot that behind stage 5.
After work one day.
After work, because it only required 4 people to get it done. But I think it looks great. It looks like every other scene in the movie. So just trying to figure out smart ways like that not necessarily it didn't make the budget bigger, but it kept the budget from being what it would have been in a traditional kind of movie.
But I also want to point out too that all the money that we raised from Indiegogo went on screen, and everything we've done since the movie's been made, partnering with YouTube Red and things like that, that's what's enabling us to do all that marketing now that we're doing to make people aware of the film, because the general public's not going to become aware of a $2.5 million movie just on their own. We got to make some effort to make the general public aware of it, which is one of the big reasons for us making Lazer Team to begin with. This gentleman has a trophy right here. That seems like a good way to get attention.
Hi, I just seen there's been a few award snubs lately, so I went out of my way to make sure you got the Best of the Fantastic Four Movie of the Year award.
Matt, you want to accept the... It's not in the critical review trailer that we just put out, but there's my favorite quote from a film critic is, they called it the best use of the jack-off hand motion in cinema history. That's a good one for the DVD cover, I think. So, which you will hopefully understand when you see the movie. Let's get some people on the side over here. How about this young lady right here on the side? How much time do we have, by the way? We good?
I was just wondering, if you could be any other character in the movie, what would you be?
I would be Alan Richardson's abs. What would you be?
I think I would be, I can't even remember his character's name, but Kirk's character.
Officer Vandenbloom.
Yeah, he was fantastic. He was my favorite bit character in that movie, where Kirk was just phenomenal. Every scene he was in, he would just go on and on. He'd stretch out a scene by 5 minutes, and we knew we weren't going to use it because it was a 1-minute scene. We're just Kirk, leave! But he was just so damn funny.
There was there's one character in the movie who ends up being a top military guy's right-hand man, essentially. And his name's Officer Van Den Bloom. But in the script, the character didn't exist. He was like an amalgamation of like 7 or 8 different characters. And he's played by this guy, Kirk Johnson. And he just came in and he did such a funny job on the first like little bit part that we just had him come in and again do the next bit part and the next one. And then like what was 7 or 8 different parts just became one character. So it's like if you read the script, you won't see this character like on the page, but he turned it into a character in the making of the movie.
And since then, he's been on the spot, and he's actually got a major role in another series that we're producing that we haven't yet announced. So
we can announce it.
Yeah, go ahead.
We're doing 3 really huge series for 2016. Day 5, which I know a lot of you have heard of.
Yep.
And 2 comedies. One's called Crunch Time, and that is going to be starring Kirk.
Yep. And that one's already done. Like, it's already been produced. We just haven't talked about it before.
Yeah. And we'll have some more news about that later during the con. And then Aaron is writing and developing a 3rd show for us called Kleptos.
You want me to say something?
It's
great.
Your moment to shine.
And I'm going to start working on it tomorrow, I promise you. As soon as I get back.
That one's much later in the year. The first one that'll come out will be Crunch Time, and then Day 5. And then we're also in the process of taking the featured production groups that we've built because of Lazer Team, and we're producing a series of documentaries this year that are much in the same vein as the Let's Play Live documentary that we did. So looking forward to all that stuff. How about right here in the blue shirt?
Hey, Gavin, were you as abused in the Lazer Team set as you are in the Achievement Hunter office, or was it pretty tame?
Well, there was a lot of stuff going on the Lazer Team set where we got other stuff from, like $1 million butt evolved from just like the dumb crap that I would ask people on Lazer Team.
Gavin did a lot of the torturing on the set. He would just harass Colton in particular with just question after question, like $1 million butt questions. So
do you know
the show was born out of that?
When you think about it, like out of context, like all the crew people who didn't know, because we hired a bunch of professional, movie crew from Austin and Texas, like surrounding areas, to work in the movie who didn't know us at all when we started. They must have thought Gavin was like the weirdest person on earth, because like you were like shoving toilet paper, up your butt on every scene, and then you had you were setting. That's what I heard. And then you were setting fire to blankets.
Yeah.
And then every time you come into a conversation, it was like, Gavin's over there talking about if you had $1 million or had to eat your own poop every day.
Yeah. Or your anus has an eyelid.
Colton was fascinated and horrified by you within a week. He was like, what the hell is wrong with this guy?
He would get fed up. He'd be like, oh, this shit again? And then he'd get super into it. He'd be like, all right, so the eyelid is on, like, which side of my anus? And he'd, like, ask all these questions. And he'd get super into it. And by the end of it, he was, like, throwing them back at us and stuff. It was great.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a great shoot, and everybody on set was amazing. One of the things is because we cast half of the principal cast from outside of Rooster Teeth, I think we were all a little bit concerned that if we're hiring people with traditional, established Hollywood careers, we were going to get somebody who would be a pain in the ass. But that just didn't happen. Like, Alan was amazing.
It was just Michael.
Just Michael, that was it. All right, let's go right here. The fun part of this is making you run. Yeah, how about right here in the purple shirt? Right there.
Hiya. Just wondering, the explosion in the woods about halfway through the movie, was that special effects or pyrotechnics?
That was all real. That was 100% pyrotechnics. And that was another one that I really fought to keep in the movie because I thought it would be just so much fun to do. And Chris tried to cut. Come on, Chris. No, I'm just kidding. He didn't try to cut that one. But yeah, most of the explosions and kind of like big spark hits and stuff like that is all real in the movie. Like, we wanted it to have a really authentic look and look like it, could have been a movie that was made in the 70s or, early 80s. And we even went and got lenses that were made in that era and had been used on sci-fi films from the late 70s because we wanted to have that feeling. Even though it's, shot digitally, it hopefully captures a little bit of that essence.
Yeah, even the stuff that had to be CG, like a spaceship spiraling out of the air, when it hits the ground, all the explosions were real. the actual spaceship was CG. So even the heavy CG stuff had a lot of practical elements to it.
I also want to add when we showed up and the ship is crashed in the field, Michael, that trench was about 80 feet long and 6 feet deep. And Gavin goes,
no, well, first we got there. It's a huge trench. Like, in person, it looks even bigger, you know, than on set. And I think we overheard how long it took to make the trench. And it was like a day or two with like, machinery. Gavin walks up the trench and he goes, I could have done this by myself. And we're like, what? And he's like, well, it'll take me 12 hours. We're like, what are you talking about?
I feel like I could dig a trench in 12 hours.
I could do it. Just give me a shovel. It's like Bernie and I it enraged us.
Yeah,
like, what the hell are you talking about?
And then I realized that my only experience with digging is like building sandcastles on the beach. So maybe not.
All right, let's go. There's somebody right over there in a Funhouse shirt, I think, that had a question.
Skip them.
Or maybe it's right behind them, There you
go. For Michael and Gavin especially, growing up watching Rooster Teeth, what was it like when they asked you to star in the movie?
Dream come true. Actually, I was thinking this the other day when I saw one of the billboards that's up in Times Square. It's like an 8-story billboard, and I'm just stood next to Bernie on it, and I was like, whoa, I don't know how did my life lead from me being like a 14-year-old kid watching Red vs. Blue to being, 8 stories tall with Bernie on the side of a building. I don't know how it happened.
Yeah, I'm with Gavin. Like, I still am kind of convinced that it's not me in the movie. I don't know. I remember, and going back to like a question earlier and what Bernie was saying, Bernie, was talking about Lazer Team to me when I started in 2011. And I remember him just saying, I don't even know if they had the name of the movie yet, or if he mentioned it. He was like, we're working on something. And Bernie was like, I think you might be good for a part if you're interested, but he's kind of an asshole, so I don't know if, I don't want to typecast you. And I was like, I'd be interested. And then 2.5 years later, he's just like, hey, we're doing that movie. You want to audition for it? Okay. It became real when Bernie sent me a text message. I hadn't even gotten the part yet, and this is maybe 6 weeks before filming started. And I was in Dallas with Lindsay, and I get a text message from Bernie, and he was like, hey, would you be interested in getting a personal trainer for the movie?
Yeah.
I was like, fuck. I'd never gone to the gym in my life before. And I was like, did I get the part? And he's like, oh, I don't know, but do you want to start going to the gym? I think I went to the gym with you. We ended up going to the same gym for a month. And I'm like, I better be in this fucking movie. I'm gonna be pissed if I'm not.
Yeah, but Michael, the preparation he did for the role was amazing. It's like our only regret was not getting him in the gym sooner, because he just packed on so much muscle, because he had to play a quarterback, so.
Yeah, no, actually, really all 3 of these guys did a phenomenal job before the movie getting ready. They all went and worked out and just got in shape and prepped for their roles. Gavin did a lot of, you did dialogue
I was
work,
say, what did Gavin do?
No,
I grew a mustache.
He did, his American accent training was,
that's right.
Yeah, because he was in vocal coaching for months.
Mustache coaching, that was tough stuff. But really, they really prepared for their roles, and I have to say, it was really just an incredible experience for me getting able to work with them, because there was never a day where I showed up and somebody was on set and we were like, well, I don't want to get in the suit today. They were all always ready, always excited, and always bringing new ideas to the set. So it was really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but when we finished filming, I was totally bummed that it was over. I was depressed for a few days.
There's a letdown at the end of it. You were like, I wanted to keep doing this forever.
Yeah, it was great.
I was a little let down because the movie was ending, and we weren't going to see all these amazing people that we had met, and worked with over the last 2.5 months. But the real kicker was I still had to work with Gavin.
All right, I'll let you guys pick.
There's somebody in the front row right here. He's been waiting a while.
All the way up here? Where's the mic?
Michael, you want to hand her your mic?
Yeah.
I talked into my water bottle just now.
I had a different question, but now that you brought up vocal training, I did it for 7 years, and there's always weird exercises that you get to do. Did you ever do any really weird, fucked up vocal exercises?
Oh yeah, they had me making the worst noises ever.
Did you ever do the Greeks?
What's that?
It's where you stand and you just put yourself in a really weird position, and then you just go,
Oh, yeah. Well, I do that on a daily basis, so. No, at one point I was like face down on the floor, and the vocal coach was like shoving my back as I was making noises, and I was like, what am I doing right now?
Open your diaphragm.
Yeah, I was using like my back piece of my spine to make a noise, apparently.
We went through some coaching stuff, you know, with some formal acting training, just like warm-ups and things like that to get ready. And some of those exercises got a little weird, and the way our coach was a little hippie-ish. And I'll never forget, I'm like, I had to stare into Michael's eyes for like 5 minutes. We're just sitting there, nose to nose, just looking at each other, while this lady stands between us going, all right, now just exist in the other person's space and do this. And Michael goes, fuck this. I think that's the most intimate moment you and I have ever shared.
There was some, and the thing was, like, we all, it's like whatever, you know, she suggested, we tried it. You know, we were there, we wanted to do as good as we possibly could do for the movie, we tried it. That doesn't mean after the fact we were like, what the fuck was that? That was crazy. Like, and I'm sure it's all, like, the biggest thing is Lindsay going, being like a theater major. She's like, oh yeah, I know that. Like, everything we did, I'm like, this is crazy. And she's like, oh, I did that all the time.
But it's really valuable, because then you pick up like 1 or 2 things out of like 5 sessions, and then you use those, and those are tools you use for the rest of your career. So
I do remember one time we did one like exercise where we just like,
hey,
you gonna count us in? Good, good. Test.
Are we live?
Test. Oh,
hey.
Are we back now? Yep. We're on this screen there.
Hi.
Yeah.
Oh, we're good. Oh, go ahead.
Hey everybody, welcome to the live stream of RTX Australia.
Powered by Twitch.
Yeah, I am James Willems. This is my monkey butler, Sven, and we are having quite a morning so far.
It's been pretty good.
Yeah, we're getting real wet.
So this is our first time in Australia.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's relevant to anyone watching right now. But
well, they probably, maybe the people watching aren't here, because if you are in Australia and you're watching this, then why aren't you here? I don't understand. But if you're anywhere else, then you might be curious what...
Oh, fuck!
He's fine.
Fine.
You might be curious what Australia's like. And Adam, tell us about your experiences here so far.
It's been great. We went on a ferry ride to a beach.
It's a beach.
It's a beach called Manly Beach. We found this out. That's why my head's kind of red.
Yeah.
But I was with a few of our friends, like Jeff and Gavin and Lawrence. We accidentally went and swam in the harbor.
The wrong beach.
Yeah. Apparently, if we would have walked 45 feet to the left, or meters, sorry. We would have actually hit the proper beach where the sharks were and all the loveliness.
Yeah.
But we swam next to boats.
Yeah, you swam in boat fuel. Boat exhaust. Fuel.
I will say, though, it was still one of the most wonderful beach experiences I've ever had.
Yeah, Australia is pretty amazing. We've only seen a small bit of it. And that same thing can be said for this whole convention here. RTX Australia is pretty ridiculous, and we've gotten to experience the tiniest fraction of it.
We have so far sat at a table and signed things. You can't see what's going on to the my right here, but
there are people down here. And they're throwing things up at us.
As Lawrence is signing them,
they're
and
shouting.
hitting us with them.
They're shouting at us. It's pretty remarkable, but it's a lot of fun. It's really cool. We're getting to meet a lot of awesome Australian fans, New Zealand fans. I think that's it. Some guy said he had friends in Hong Kong, but he didn't say if he was from there.
Someone said Russia, just offhandedly.
He just said the word Russia.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing. And there's a full docket of stuff. Like, we're doing this, and then we're going to do a Funhouse panel that's coming up later. And
so we're also doing this other thing that some of you may be interested in. I don't know, but we're playing Rocket League, and we're all kind of dreading this.
Man.
It's our fault, really. We should be practicing, but I think our team is what? It's you, me, and Lawrence.
There's some big wheel that someone spins when they decide when we're going to compete with other groups in a video game. And it's never landed on a single game we've ever played.
Sure.
We played Rocket League, but we don't play Rocket League.
Right.
And now we have to try and beat Freddie Wong, who
is the
mostly
master.
talks about Rocket League, by the way. Well, maybe he's talking about Rocket Jump. No, he's talking more about Rocket League than he's talking about Rocket Jump.
Yes.
But
it's
I
like
don't know
him, Jeff, and Michael, people who are good. So tune in for that embarrassment. That's gonna happen.
We're just gonna get smashed.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten to see anything. There's a bunch of stuff here.
Yeah.
There's cool booths and merchandise and stuff. I want to be able to explore, but I don't know if we're gonna have time to explore.
Also, you can kind of tell behind us, it looks like a train station from Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
Yeah.
But we're in Australia, so that doesn't make much sense.
Yeah, I'm trying to find platform 3 and 4. What is the one from Harry Potter? 13 and 4/8. That one. Which one?
Rest in peace, Harry
Daniel
Knowles.
Radcliffe. Harry Knowles. Oh, boy.
But I was thinking, since we are up here, and James is a funny guy,
okay,
this is a good time for you to practice your Australia stand-up comedy routine.
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah.
have your mic.
So, okay. So
I'll stand up as the side as
yeah.
like
You be like
support.
the audience.
Yeah. So
All right.
I think,
And I
go
go,
ahead.